welcome again to the Play Space Live and Game Lab 5. Keith Avalone from Play Games, glad you're here tonight. Sam is running the board tonight and will be joining us on camera for a couple of these games, which are his creation. I'm going to keep this introduction short and sweet because we are on the clock. Yes, the timer is running right now. It's a 60-minute show. Oh, it's not running? It's about to start. Start the clock. We want to keep this show under an hour. The idea is we give you a sneak peek at some of the games and game ideas that we're working on behind the scenes here at Play HQ. Sometimes it's a more or less finished game. Sometimes it's nothing more than a rough idea scratched out on paper. Usually it's sometime or something kind of in between those two extremes. I will say that we've had our hands full this year with working on hoops and other issues on the side. So the game ideas this time are more in the less fleshed out than the more fleshed out. But I think you'll find them interesting. We have 7 game ideas to present tonight. Might not get to them all. We run this in a lightning round format where we pick an unmarked box at random, and then we start explaining what's inside it. There is a 10-minute time limit for each game, and then we move on to the next box. So, maximum, we should get to at least 6 games, maybe all 7. We'll see. When the clock hits 0, we end the show, and that'll be Game Lab 5. So thanks for joining us, and let's get right to it. We'll start with, I guess I should mix these boxes up, just because, just to sort of let everybody know that we're doing this randomly. All right, and let's just take the top box.
Come on, show all the boxes.
Oh, all right. So here's our stack of boxes. They're all identical, unmarked, and each of them has a game or game idea inside it. Let's start with this one here. And this, oh, you'll love this one. Yeah, everybody will love this one. So this is we're going to call this History Maker Baseball Express, inspired by Fast Drive football, of course, which has been like the talk of the hobby this summer and fall. And of course, it got me thinking, no, we should maybe do this with baseball. And originally set this up so that it would be, or you get the 10-minute mark, 10-minute thing. This will go over 10 minutes, I think. So originally it was going to be like a team-based type thing where you'd have the teams rated for pitching and hitting and fielding and so on and so forth. I played some games with that, and it was okay. It actually worked pretty well, but you still kind of felt like you were missing that 1 versus 1, that individual versus individual matchup type thing. So I reconfigured it to work with the actual qualities of History Maker Baseball. And it's pretty cool. It works pretty neat. Right now there's no graphics to it. It's just basically a couple of charts. And I will show you how it works. I just happened to grabbed the 1970 All-Star Game teams from my big box of teams, and we'll just pick up some lineups, and I'll quickly explain how this works. So let me get some. You'll pick your lineups. I hope these are lineups already set up here. Center field. I'm not going to get too. Yeah, looks like it's pretty much a. This is the American League. Pick 9 guys here. Yeah, I think I have. I should have set this up beforehand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will just. You know what? We'll just pick somebody else. We'll put Roy White out there. I don't know that these are the right positions or anything, but I'm pretty sure they're. You'll recognize the names. So there's the American League, and we need to have a pitcher in there too, don't we? Well, we won't put, the pitchers won't. The pitcher doesn't go in the batting order. These are not actual batting orders, really, as you'll soon see. So we got Pete Rose, Joe Torre, Bud Harrelson. There's the batting pitcher. Joe Morgan, Cito Gaston, Roberto Clemente, Willie McCovey. I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I guess we'll put Billy Grabarkowitz in there. Did he make the All-Star game in 1970? Put Rico Cardi in there. So you won't put the pitchers won't bat in this. They will be considered to have batted, but they won't actually use their card. Now I'll pick a couple of pitchers here. Oh, we should have. I'm going to put Willie Horton in instead of Roy White, if that's okay. All right, so let's get a couple of pitchers here. Pitching for the National League, we'll have Wayne Simpson pitch from the Reds, and for the American League on the mound, we'll use who we got here. Where's the American League pitchers? How about Mike Cuellar? Oh, let's use Mel Stottlemyre. They're both star pitchers. One's got semi-control, one's got semi-flash. All right, so there's how we're going to do this. So the chart is set up with the same History Maker Baseball dice roll type thing, where you'll roll 3 dice and the decider, and you will check the chart, and it'll ask for a pitching quality. If the pitcher has the quality, you'll get a result. The results are expressed in either men on base or no runs. So in other words, if the key quality comes up, and like if the star quality comes up for Wayne Simpson in the pitching column, he will have retired the inning with no runs, so nobody will have scored. So these are not exactly batting orders. You pick your starting players and you stack them up here. I think I got too many in the American League. Not that it really matters. I'll take one out. So you're not actually, these are not actually batting orders. They're just, but they're the players that are in the batting order. So essentially, you're going from like maybe 1 to 4 to 7 to 8. So you're kind of jumbling around in the batting order, but it does give the feel of playing an actual baseball game. So if there are men on base, then you go to this second column here, the second chart, where you resolve it with the next batter. So it does give kind of the feel of a baseball game going on, and you get the qualities happening. So let's just do a quick couple innings here with Wayne Simpson on the mound pitching against the American League. And we'll do that. We roll the dice. We get a 5, 5, 6. It asks, do we have star pitching? And Wayne Simpson is a star, so he allows no runs. So Horton will be retired. That'll be the end of the first inning. Go to the bottom of the first, and so there are other batters batting, but Horton was the key batter, and he had a pop out or whatever. So Stottlemyre on the mound pitching against Carty, who's leading off for the National League. We roll a 4, 4, 5. Ask for do we have Workman pitching? No, Stottlemyre's a star, so we go to the batting center. Is he a hero batter? He's not a hero. He's a champion, but not a hero. So if he was a hero, he would have had men on base. Instead, no run, so Carty will ground out. So we go to the top of the second now. I should be keeping score here, but I'm not.
5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes to go. Okay. We might finish this game in 5 minutes. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. Well, about 7 or 8 minutes, maybe 7 to 10 minutes to play a game. So top of the second, and it's a 2, 4, 6. Struggler pitching, no. Sad sack batting, no. We get men on base. So now we go over to here. So Career gets on, and we look at the black die. The black die tells us what happened. If it's a 6, that means the bases are loaded. 1 is a runner on first. 2 is runner on second. 3 is choice, runners on first and second, or a runner on third. You can see it kind of adds up to the base numbers add up to the die number. 4 is runners on first and third. 5 is runners on second and third. 6 is bases are loaded. So the bases are loaded. Carew, gets on base. And Alex Johnson comes to bat with the bases loaded. We don't have any outs, registered necessarily. We don't know how many outs there are, but we do know that Alex Johnson is batting with the bases loaded. We only rolled 2 dice. Any 2 will do. And we read a 15. Is he a scrapper? He is not a scrapper. If he was, he'd hit a double. Instead, he just hit a home run. So Alex Johnson just hit a grand slam in the All-Star game, and it's 4-0 American League. And then we go to Brooks Robinson. And we will again roll on this chart. And we get a 46, which is the same. Pitching right, batting right. Yes, so Simpson strikes out Robinson, but the damage is done. And the American League is leading 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. Back to Mel Stottlemyre. Roll a 3, 5, 6. Let's see, star pitching. He is a star, so no runs. So Tommy Harper goes down. I'm sorry, Roberto Clemente goes down. What am I saying? Go to the top of the third. It's still 4-0. 2, 5, 6 for Simpson. Let's see. Is he a struggler? He is not a. He's not a. I'm sorry. It's a workman. He's not a workman. He's not a sad sack batting. So we're gonna get men on base. Men on second and third with the black die 5. So Harper's got men on. Harper gets on. He goes to second. Oliva is batting now. Runners on second and third. See if they can get to Simpson here. And we get a 35. That's going to, is he a control pitcher? He does not have control, so it's going to be a walk. So Oliva's going to walk. Bases are loaded again. And that brings up Amos Otis. See if he can get out of it. Oops. 11. Batting team harmony or pitching team dissonance? Yeah, we didn't do that, so we'll just say no, it's a ground out. So Otis will ground out to end the inning and stays 4-0. You do not get the run in. You go to the bottom of the third, or are you in the fourth? I think it's the third. Stottlemyre, 4-5-6. Is he a workman pitching? No. Champion batter? No. McCovey's not a champion. He's a semi-hero. So we go to the end column, and there are going to be no runs scored. But if the black die is a 6, then it's possible for a solo home run. It is not a 6, so in this case, McCovey maybe just hits it deep. But that'll be a no runs for the National League. And we'll do one more inning here real quick. Simpson against Davey Johnson. We roll 555s. I haven't figured out anything for the triples. That'll be like special results for like oddball innings and things like that. So I haven't figured that out yet. 4-4-6. Star pitching. Yep, Simpson's a star. So Simpson is going to allow no runs. Davey Johnson's going down. So we'll get 1 minute left. Okay, we'll just end it right there. So that's how it works. There is fielding involved. We didn't see any here, but the fielding will come up here where the iron and when it does, like let's say Stottlemyre is pitching to Gaston, we got a fielding result. We would check the top guy on the other team. So we'd check Fosse's fielding rating. He would be the one who would consider be making the play. He'd be a semi-gold and would probably make a great play. So the fielding does come in. Everything that's in the full play game really comes into this, including, as you saw, the harmony, the dissonance and the harmony. So it's pretty neat. I've played, probably about, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 games of this. Kind of tweaking the statistics, but the idea is, 75% of baseball games, 75% of innings in baseball games have no runs. So it's very easy to, blow right past that and say, okay, no runs were scored, we move to the next inning. So that is History Maker Baseball Express. I think we'll probably get that out at some point. There's quite a bit of work that needs to be done on it, and obviously some graphic design. Pretty plain looking, but I would say that is going to be something we'll do eventually. All right, next box, resetting. There we go. 10 minutes for Turbo Tourney. All right, so Sam's going to step in here and explain how Turbo Tourney works. It's like a robot battle game. Step right in.
Hey, everybody. Sam here. Welcome to Game Lab. It's weird. I haven't been on camera in a while. It feels strange to be behind the desk again. But this is Turbo Tourney. Let's see. Where do I start with this? It's kind of if you've seen previous Game Lab episodes, you've probably seen previous iterations of this for a while. It kind of borrows a lot from games like that I've done, like Super U, if you remember that, or I had another fighting game one that was kind of in the same vein as that. A lot simpler though. The idea with this is, picture yourself sitting like in a giant arena. In the center of it is two massive robots kind of battling it out, and one of them's going to win, one of them's going to lose. It's going to end up scrapped and thrown out of the arena, and then a new robot will come in, and the one that won will have to fight that. So it's very rough right now. And I think eventually the idea would be that there would be like some in-between game stuff where you'd be like kind of customizing your own robot and souping it up to battle other people playing the game with you. But for now, it's just going to be kind of more of a simulation game. So you guys will like that, I'm sure. So the way this works, it plays out kind of like war, in the sense that we're basically just going to be flipping cards over. Each card represents like a move that a robot can do, a part that it has equipped, or a weapon that it has, or something like that. And then we're going to compare the two cards, and then one of them's going to win, one of them's going to lose. The one that wins deals a damage to the other one, and once one of the robots has accrued 5 damage, it's considered to be KO'd and thrown out of the ring. There's also some effects on the cards, which will kind of trigger different interactions and deal extra damage and that sort of thing. Let me just show you how it works, and you'll see how it goes. So each robot is going to get 6 cards. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So we're going to flip over the top card of each of these decks, and it's going to be resolved sort of rock, paper, scissors style. There are 4 types of moves that a robot can execute. So, for instance, there's melee moves. I don't know if you can see these cards. It's kind of small print there, so apologies. But the red ones are going to be melee. Blue cards are going to be guard moves. Yellow cards are going to be ranged moves. And then the green cards are special moves. So when I say rock, paper, scissors, that's in the sense that melee is going to beat guard. Guard is going to beat ranged. And ranged is going to beat melee. And special is going to lose to everything. But it does activate some powerful effects that can be worth taking a hit. So let me just let's just play one and you'll see how it goes. So we have 6 cards here, each representing an opposing robot, and then we're just going to flip over the cards. And, it doesn't need to be robots. That's just it could be anything. But we flip over the cards and see what they've got here. So ranged versus special. So special loses to everything, so the ranged guy is going to get to do a damage. He's got a special effect on his card that if it's against a melee card, he's going to get to apply a barrier to himself. So there's these special effect tokens that we'll get to. I'll explain those as we get to them. But then the special card, although he does take a damage, he's also going to get to remove all conditions from himself. He doesn't have any conditions yet. And then apply barrier. So he's got a barrier condition. And that's going to block the next incoming attack. So the next time that this guy gets a hit on him, it's going to get negated. So now we go to the next card, flip it over. Okay, so this guy's going to malfunction, which is good news for him, because he gets to do his steel stomp move basically for free. So he's going to deal a damage, and he's going to inflict vulnerable on the other robot. So vulnerable means that the next time he takes damage, it's going to be double whatever the damage he would take would be. So more bad news for him. Flip over the next card, and it's ranged versus, oh no, another malfunction. This guy's really having a tough time over here. So he gets to use his Flame Blaster for free, which is going to do a damage, and since he's vulnerable, it's going to be 2 damage, and we remove that. And his effect is that if he's airborne, then he's going to deal an extra 2 damage. He's not airborne, though, so that will not come into effect there. We flip over another card. Okay, so here we go. Ranged versus guard. So guard wins against ranged. So he finally, the guy on the right is finally going to get to do some damage here. So he's going to do a damage, and then if he has a barrier, he's going to deal an extra 2 damage. He doesn't have a barrier. He does. Oh, that's right. So actually, instead of taking damage, we're going to remove this barrier that he's got, and that is how that will shake out. Flip over the next card. And it is guard versus special. So guard's going to get to do the damage. His effect is that, okay, so on hit, he gets to play the next card of his deck, and it automatically hits. So he's going to play the Recycler, which means he gets to choose one of his discarded cards and use it as that one. So, what should he use here? He can use any of these.
Not the malfunction.
Probably not the malfunction. It looks like they're all basically going to be the same. So he'll just do an extra damage. Doesn't really matter what he uses there. But the neutralizer from this guy says that before damage is dealt, remove all conditions from yourself and your opponent. Doesn't have any conditions on them right now, so that will not mean much. Now this guy's out of cards, since he got to play the extra card last time, which means he has to take a turn to reshuffle all of his cards and not get to use an attack. Meanwhile, this guy gets to send off his final thing for free. The Buzz Blade. Okay, so that hits, does a damage. He's up to 4 now. 1 more and he's out. And then also he gets to exhaust the top card of his opponent's deck. So we're going to take the top card here, the Quick Guard, and he can't use that anymore. That's gone for the rest of the battle. And now we move on to the next turn. So now he has to reset. So he takes a turn here and shuffles all that up. And this guy gets to do an attack for free. It's the malfunction, though, so wasted. I know, what a bummer. Okay, so now we're back to both of them being locked and loaded. Special versus guard. Guard's going to put the hurt on special. On hit, if you have barrier, deal an extra 2 damage. He still doesn't. Nobody's really been able to get that off yet. And then this guy, remove all. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Some of these cards are kind of worthless right now. clearly needs some tweaking and balancing, but we'll keep going. Man, 2 malfunctions, or I guess 2 out of 3. That's a bad robot that this guy's got. So the rapid blaster hits, and that's 5 damage. So he is knocked out. This guy is the champion. It was pretty close though. He took 4 damage. So now what we would do, and this is the part where a little extra development would lend to some fun, like between match stuff that could happen where you would sort of make changes to your guy, upgrade him, swap in new cards and stuff. But just for the sake of using up the last 2 minutes here, we'll deal out 6 new cards and pretend that we're going to have one more fight. So this is the guy that won last time. We're going to see if he can beat this guy here real quick. Melee versus malfunction. He takes a damage. Exhaust the top card. That Buzzblade card is nasty. Flip over another one. Oh, special versus special. Okay. So in the event of a tie, where both cards are the same type, then you refer to the card's power. They both have 0 power, so I think nobody does damage in that instance. I think we're almost out of time here anyway, so we got 1 minute to go. In closing, a lot of work to be done here still, but I think it has some cool potential to. I think what's really going to make this cool is the. I could see some sort of like drafting mechanic in place where, before as the cards are being dealt out, you pass some cards to your opponent. Choose from a marketplace of cards. Maybe there's some resource management in play where earning points by winning the matches, and then you get to spend those on new cards. Lots of different directions to go, but that is Turbo Tourney, the latest iteration of my battle game that's going to happen eventually.
All right, pick a box, get that put away, pick another box.
All right, let's see what is next. Get that out of here. Next is not mine.
All right, I'll take
Keith, take the stage.
Go ahead and start that timer at 10. All right, so if you were watching our Sports Game Antiquities series a few weeks ago, you saw we had Avalon Hill's basketball strategy out, and I mentioned these cards, and we played the game. It's a difficult game to play, very complex, lots of layers. And I think I made the closing comment that the thing that I always came back to in this game was the play call cards. There's a set of 9 cards with the game, and the offense guy chooses one, and then the defense guy chooses his defense. The offense guy chooses which zone he's going to go to, and depending on how that matches up, you get a result. And I always thought, why not make that the whole game? So that's kind of what I put together really quickly here. It uses basketball cards, and it also uses a fast action deck that I kind of created for History Maker Hoops. When games sort of got out of control, I found it was no fun to be making quality checks and checking ratings when one team's got a 40-point lead. So why not just make a game? Why not just make a fast action deck that doesn't have any quality checks in it, that you just flip and get results and get the game over with? So let me just show you how this works. It uses kind of the History Maker Hoops methodology. So we've got in lieu of a game board, we just set out the position cards here, and we'll just choose. Of course, all the players are simply for eye candy. The players are all the same in this, and let's put them in the order that they are in the actual hoops game. So we got our position codes here, and we'll put some guys out there. Who we got here? We got Vernon Maxwell. He's a guard. And we got a coach here. Which coach was that? Oh, Rudy Tomjanovich. Sleepy Floyd, another guard for the Rockets. We'll put him here. And there's Don Nelson from the Bucks. No, actually, he was with the Golden State with this. There's Clippers, this Olden Providence. This is the 1992-93 season basketball cards. And who else we got here? We got Craig Alo. Put him at shooting forward. small forward, and Larry Nance, the power forward. So that's our team. This is one team, and then we'll also give them little cards here for. We'll say Maxwell's is the playmaker, and we'll make Floyd a playmaker. We'll make Nance a scorer, and we'll make Craig Alo a scorer. And we'll do the same thing with these guys. We've got John Paxson, and gosh, a bunch of coaches. There's Del Curry, Kevin McHale. Put him here. Who else we got? Oh, let's put Robert Parrish. Put Robert Parrish out. All you Boston fans. Oh, there's another Boston. All the Boston guys are in this same group. There's Pinckney. Okay, so those are our teams right here. And we'll do the same thing. We'll make, let's see, we'll make him a scorer. We'll make him a playmaker. We'll make McHale a playmaker. And we'll make Robert Parrish a scorer, a top scorer, like that. All right, so the way this would work would be you'd use the fast action. So this could be played. You could play this where all you're doing is, making your offensive calls versus your defensive calls. But I thought it'd be more fun, actually, to have the game kind of play itself for a while. And then every once in a while, you jump in and make that call for your team, where you're, the offense guy makes his offensive call, the defense guy makes his defensive call. So you got 5 of each. The offense calls, you can have a worked shot, a long-range shot, which would be basically a three-pointer from, beyond the top of the key. Baseline jumper, which would be a 3-point shot from the corner. Short jumper, which would be a 2-point shot, or you can drive the lane. And so you choose which shot you're going to take, and the defense chooses which defense they're going to do. There's a zone defense, a man defense. There's a arc defense, which basically protects against 3-pointers. There's a lane defense, which basically protects against 2-pointers, and then there's the pressure defense, which is designed to disrupt and take care of the worked shot. So essentially, the arc defense will stop any call for a 3-point shot, but will allow an automatic basket on a 2-point shot. The lane defense does the opposite. The man and zone defense allow one of each. So depending on which you called, you'll have a 50-50 chance of stopping by calling the man or the zone defense. So obviously I don't have an opponent to play against me, but let's just use the fast action deck to show you how it works. And there's no dice involved with this game except for a decider die, which comes into play if you do a worked shot. We got 5 minutes. Okay, I'll get this explained in 5 minutes. If you call a worked shot, then you're not actually taking a shot, but what you're doing is if you get to choose another offensive play. You're working the ball, and if the defense hasn't responded appropriately, then you are going to get a decider die roll on a missed shot on your next shot. So if you get a when you make your second play call, you get 3 of those. Obviously, 24-second clock. If you miss, you get to roll the decider die to see if it bounces in anyway. If you worked it, if you don't, then you have to take the result as it comes from the cards. All right, so let's just flip some cards here. So we'll say these guys, I don't know, we'll call them the visitors and the home. So we'll start with a tip off. Dot goes to home, so it looks like the home team gets the tip, and the gray guy's going to miss. That's going to be Pinckney's going to miss. Offensive rebound to McHale, and we just use the decider die, and he misses it, and it's a defensive rebound from there. Then a defense shooting guard fouls. So Curry would foul. That'd be for our first foul, and the next play is Blue's going to score. So Sleepy Floyd scores. It's 2-0 for the visitors, and purple shot is blocked. That's going to be Curry's shot is blocked by Olden Polynice. Defensive rebound goes to Larry Nance. And then purple scores long range. So it looks like Alo's going to hit a long range shot, and it's now 5-0. And there's our first hoop cam result. Okay, so it's 5-0. That would set the stage at that point. These guys have the ball. So if I was coaching these guys, I would choose my offensive play. And down 5-0, maybe I want to try a long range shot and hope that he's going for like a man defense. So, I'll just choose this at random. Obviously, the opposing coach would make his play call choice. I'll just choose this one here. So I'm going to call for a long-range shot, and he's playing the lane defense. So he was thinking I was going to drive it, so I get a swish 3 points. And it doesn't indicate who made it. I mean, probably I actually probably could add that, so it would say like orange scores or something. So anyway, it's 5-3 now. So my coaching move was well received. And we go back to the regular results. Purple's going to miss, so Ayla's going to miss. It's defensive rebound to Parrish. Parrish comes down with it. He scores. I'm sorry, Curry scores, so now it's 5-5. We're all tied up. Looks like Nance is going to miss. Parrish with the rebound. Then Purple's going to miss. Curry's going to miss. Back to Polynice. Eventually, we're going to get another hoop cam. It should be 1 out of 6 results should be a hoop cam. Maxwell's going to score. Puts them up 7-5. And then my purple shot, Curry shot, is blocked by Alo, and it's an offensive rebound. 2 minutes? Okay, offensive rebound. Out of bounds, so we would get the ball back. And I'm waiting for another hoop cam result. We'll say the next card's a hoop cam. So the ball's thrown away by blue, and so that means Paxson threw the ball away. So they've got the ball. So now this will be good. This will give me a chance to call a defensive shot. So I'm going to play a man defense. That gives me a 50-50 chance of stopping whatever they're doing. And then I'll pick one of their cards at random. So where's my man defense? Here we go. And they're going to call, let's see, they'll choose this. And we took a long-range shot. Against a man defense, missed shot, defensive rebound, so I got the ball back. So I'd be trailing 7-5. I'd get the ball back. And, you can play, basically this is actually more than a quarter. We would divide this into, it's the same as with History Maker Hoops. You divide this into 4 stacks and you throw away 1. Use 3 stacks for your quarter. So that's how it would work. The idea is it's not so much it's not a statistical simulation game. It's like a basketball themed game with some strategy elements. And again, it all centers back to the basketball strategy game where, I thought that the cards were really the cool part about it, and that's kind of the neat part about this game too. The fast action deck will generate completely, over the course of a full game, it should generate very even results for both teams. So really, the coaching decisions that you make and your ability to think and outthink your opponent should, the idea is it should be the difference in a game where all the other results are essentially, even. So there you go. There's no name for this. I don't know that we'll ever do this game, but I guess I just kind of considered it a challenge after that Sports Game Antiquities show to finally do something with the idea of taking those strategy cards and making a game out of it. So there you go. All right, reset to 10. Let's put that over on the table over there. And our next game will be, let's go with this one here. How about? Oh, I lost my decider die. Our next game is Pyramid Builder. Okay, so this game is in very early stages of development. In fact, I got it out today to kind of refresh my memory on the rules. I actually prepared this for the last game lab. It was a game I worked on about a year ago. And here's the triangle dice. Remember I was telling about how we get these triangle dice, and I always wanted to make a game out of it. And this is the game that I have come up with, or one of them anyway. And I thought, well, it's pyramids. These are like little pyramids. So it kind of makes thematic sense that we'll use these dice for this pyramid building game. Unfortunately, I didn't write the rules down for this, so I'm kind of spent part of this afternoon trying to remember how this all works. I think I have it down, except there was one rule that I made about preparation. I'm not sure exactly what I had in mind for preparation, but I'll show you how this works. It's kind of cool. So the idea is you're building a pyramid. You're you're a pharaoh in ancient Egypt, and you want to build this pyramid, and you got to get your people to build it for you. And you got things moved a lot slower in those days. You weren't able to throw one of these up in a week. It took many, many years. So the challenge is to build this pyramid in 20 years. You got 20 years to build the pyramid. And in the meantime, you have to allocate your resources properly. You have to keep your people happy. You have to avoid invasion, famine, plague, and revolt. And, of course, you have to not die. So you get a 20-year span to get this thing built. Now, in many ways, it's not... I was going to say it's not so much a game as it is a roll and write, like number puzzle, sort of. As you can see, there's like a pyramid here. and there are little numbers in each of the boxes. And the idea is that when you match a die roll to a number, you can use that die to complete that part of the pyramid. And eventually, you're working from the bottom up and you're building up to the top. And essentially, you want to have all these boxes checked by the 20th turn. Each turn represents a year. You can roll up to 6 dice. The tricky thing is, if you roll 4 of a kind, bad things happen. So if you get 4 1s, you get a famine happens. If you roll 4 2s, you get invaded. If you roll 4 3s, you have a plague, and if you roll all 4 4s, it's a revolt. So by rolling all 6 dice, you're increasing the odds that 4 of them will be one number. Now remember, there's only 4 numbers on the dice. There's a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. It's a D4. So by rolling 6, you exponentially increase the chances of getting 4 of a kind, and you don't want that. That's where the preparation comes in. You can prepare for it, and then as you're prepared, you can then maybe take on the risk if you're a little bit behind in your building, knowing that you'll be able to repel the invasion or feed your people during the famine. I'm not exactly sure of how the preparation mechanic worked. I think the idea was you'd set one aside, but in any event, we're just going to skip over that for now. And we'll just play a little bit of this. So the black, you can see there's 3 different colors of D4s. The black ones fill in this part of the pyramid. The white ones have to be used on this part of the pyramid. The green ones can be used on either part of the pyramid, either side. So you have 20 turns to complete this pyramid, and not roll 5. If you roll 5 of a kind, then something bad happens to you. It's bad news. You die in your sleep. You don't survive. Because, let's face it, life was pretty rough many centuries BC. All right, let's just roll a few turns here. How much time we got?
You got 6 minutes.
6 minutes. All right, we should be able to build some of this pyramid. So here's our first turn. We roll the D4s. I got many emails about the D4s. They don't use them. They don't roll well. I think they're kind of neat. I don't know. There's only 4 numbers on there. So, all right, so I get a 2, a 2. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, I didn't get quads. I got 2, 2, 2, 4, 1, 1. So let's go ahead and spend the numbers. Usually, you start with the numbers that have to be played, marked off in a certain spot. So the black ones here, we get a 2 and a 1. We'll mark a 2. See, now there's no 1s over here. This is the bad thing. You cannot build, like I can't just check a 1 off here. You have to build from the bottom up. It's like building a pyramid. So you have to build. Checking a black, there's no option to check a black 1. So that's a bad rule on my part. And I think that's where the preparation, I might have been able to save that for preparation or something, but we're not going to do that. I've got to noodle that rule a little bit longer before I implement it in our game test here. So right now it's just a lost die roll. I was able to check off the 2. I can check off 2 2s on the white, so I can put this block down and this block down. And I got a 1 here and a 4 here. So let's put the 4 on the black side and the 1 on the white side. And that is year 1. We got our pyramid started. Here's year 2. Got 3, 1, 4, 4, 2, 1. A nice mix. All right, let's see. The 1 and the 3. This is good. We can build those. The 1 and the 2. Again, we got another black 1. That is bad. We can use the 2, but not the 1. And 2 green 4s. So we can put a 4 here on top of the 2. That you can stack pyramid blocks on top of each other, but you can't just put them, standing on air. So we can put one here, and we'll use this other green 4 on this side of the pyramid. So now we got 2 years done. I'm obviously risking it by rolling 6 dice here, but we're a little bit behind, having wasted two of the black dice so far. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball here, but we're going to survive again. We got a 1, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 1, and a 3. So we got 3 1s. Let's do the white ones first. We can put the white 1 here, and the white 2 here. Again with the black 1, another wasted die. We'll put the 3 here. We got a 4 and a 1. All right, so the 4, the green can go on either side. We'll put the 4 here. And, oh my gosh, we might not be able to place the 1. Yeah, there's nowhere to put the 1. We can't put the 1 here because there's nothing supporting it. And there's no other places for 1s. So we're just going to have to fall further behind. That's turn 3. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll do one more turn. We got a little bit of time, right? We'll do one more turn, then we'll go to the next box. Here we go. I'm rolling all 6. And I got 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. So far, so far so good. I'm avoiding the quads. They should come up about well, the way I calculate it, maybe 5% of the time, or between 5 and 10% of the time. I'm not sure. So it's a fairly innocuous gamble. 2 white ones, and that's going to be bad because there's no place for me to put the white ones over here. I can play this green 3 here. You want to try to build it evenly so that because you can't have it topple over. Put this green one. Now see, I can put the green one here because I use the green 3. That'll build on top of that. I got a black 4 which can go here and a black 3. Thank goodness. So I made a little bit of progress, and that would be turn 4. So you can see I filled up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I've filled up 18 of my 49 blocks in 4 years. And so anyway, that's basically how it goes. Obviously, there's more that can be put into it. I would like to do something for triples, which would add some color and some flavor. And the idea would be, it's not easy being Pharaoh, and that pyramid should be kind of a challenge to build. So that is Pyramid Builder. And let's go ahead and reset the clock. How much time we got left?
18 minutes. 19 minutes.
19 minutes. So we got 3 games left in 19 minutes. We'll see how we do here. Let's take the middle game here. Okay, this is Antarctica 11. I am fascinated by this idea. Similar to Aviatrix 37. If you played Aviatrix 37, it's like a history-based type. It's a history-based simulation. It's like a simulation of Amelia Earhart's actual flight, and I happen to think that it is a terrific simulation. It really expresses the difficulty that she faced with Fred Noonan in trying to complete that trip around the world. And I do have an interest in history as much as maybe not quite so much as I do in sports, but significant. And one of the things that really has caught my curiosity, my interest, is the first man to the South Pole, the exploration of the South Pole in 1911. It's quite a backstory behind it. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. A guy from England named Robert Falcon Scott decided he was going to go to be the first man to the South Pole. They just settled. Well, they hadn't really settled who got. Somebody had just gotten to the North Pole, Peary and Byrd, and they were arguing over who got there first. It was unclear at the time who got there first, and so there's this big argument about who's going to get to the, who got to the North Pole first. But the bottom line was North Pole had been conquered. That just left the South Pole. Robert Falcon Scott was going to be the first man to go to the South Pole. Unbeknownst to him, this guy from Norway, Roald Amundsen, who wanted fame and glory in going to the North Pole, but also saw it swept away from beneath him when both Peary and Byrd got there, he secretly decided, okay, well, I'm going to go to the South Pole. But he didn't tell anybody except his crew. So he and his crew kind of discreetly moved around and decided to head south. And here's Robert Falcon Scott from England thinking, he's making all these preparations. Amundsen was, he was kind of a ruthless guy. He got there first, and later, here comes Scott, and he discovers this Norwegian guy there. So it's basically this race to the South Pole. Who's going to get to the South Pole first? Now, this was no picnic. We're talking about, it's a 900-mile trip from the edge here to the South Pole. This is like, this is the Ross Sea. This is like an ice shelf. It's a sea, but it's frozen over. So this is kind of, you can walk on this during most of the year. Probably all the year, but it's safer it's completely safe most of the year. So Amundsen wound up here. He was going to take this route. Scott wound up here. He's going to take this route. It's a 900-mile trip either way, and you're crossing some mountains and stuff. And the temperature range, in the colder months, in the winter months, it's impossible. You don't want to do it in the winter months. It's like 70, 80 below zero. In the summer months, it's more like 5 or 6 below zero, maybe. I think at the highest temperature I don't think it really ever gets above freezing in Antarctica. So, and again, this is 1911. So you've got these two guys that are racing, trying to. It's a race to the South Pole. Who's going to get there first? And there's some intrigue involved, and there's some. I wouldn't call it sabotage, but it's an interesting story. So where's the game here? All right, so it's basically would be a resource management game. It's astonishing to me. It wasn't just a matter of getting to your base of operations and heading out for the South Pole, a 900-mile trip. You didn't have enough supplies to do that. So what you had to do was you had to go out from here, go like this far out, and build a little depot of supplies. Then go back and get more supplies. And then go a little bit further out and put some depots here. And, put a depot here. Then go all the way back and get another load. And then take a little bit from here and a little bit from here and then put a depot here. It's painstaking. And it's in 30, 40 degree below zero weather, and it's blizzards. It's an unbelievable adventure, really, to even try to do it. So that's where I think the game would be. The game would basically surround around how many depots do you want to build? Because each depot, it takes time. I mean, it's months to go from here to here and then back again to get more supplies. So the question is, if it's a race, how much time do you want to maybe shave a little time off by putting the depots a little spaced a little further, maybe getting one fewer depot? Or do you want to play the safety and put an extra depot in there and, give up some extra time? So that would be the first part. How many depots do you want to set up? I would abstract that in the game. Then the elements would come into play because in Antarctica, a blizzard can pop up out of nowhere. It can be like sparkling blue sky, and then a half hour later, it's a howling blizzard. You can't see which way you're going. So the elements would come into play, and you would have to make the decision, based on the elements. Do I want to try to press on through this, or do I want to try to hunker down and try to wait this out? With the clock ticking, with your supplies ticking, you're consuming supplies all the time. So it would be like a resource management game of an extreme caliber. So that'd be the second part of it. And then, of course, the third part of it would be, you get there, but you also got to get back. You can be the first person to the South Pole, but you then also have to get back. And that's where it's kind of the intrigue kind of is. Because Scott, actually, Amundsen made it to the South Pole first. Scott made it there later. Scott was the one that was more safe. He took the safe. He was a little bit more cautious. Amundsen was the guy that was ruthless and was just took the chances. He made it there first and then got back. Scott made it there second, but did not make it back. He was lost a couple months on the return to the base camp. So it's a fascinating story, and I think it would be a really interesting game. Where you could play it with two players, one person taking Amundsen, one taking Scott. You could do it with maybe multiple players. You could do it where everybody starts even. You could have a historical simulation where you're simulating what actually happened. You could just do it solo where your goal is just to get there and get back in any kind of a time frame. So I've got the game board set up. I think each of these squares would probably represent a turn rather than whereas in Aviatrix it represents distance. This would probably represent a turn, and I think the depot placement we wouldn't simulate that, moving a token up or placing. You would simply just make your decision. It'd be a very quick part of the game where it's okay. This is what I'm gonna do. This is where my depots are gonna go. This is how much I'm gonna put in it, and this is therefore you calculate this is how much time it took. And ultimately the idea would be whoever got to the South Pole first would get fame, honor, and glory. But then, of course, you'd want to get back. See, that was Scott's whole thing. It's like he knew he'd gotten there second because he saw the Norwegian flag. His immediate thought immediately was, well, we got to get back before they do, so we can, get the news out first. And then, in his haste or whatever, something happened, and they never did make it back. So that is Antarctica 11. It's very, open-ended in terms of the actual game mechanics. I would like to use the D4s for this, because I think it's perfect for that with the the ice caps, the triangular ice caps. But as you can see, I'm kind of jazzed about this game, and I hope that I find the time to work on it in 2022. That is Antarctica 11. All right, how much time we got? Time for one more?
10 minutes.
All right, we're gonna pick one more here, and let's go with this one here. Okay. Looks like we're gonna miss out on your second one, Sam. I'm sorry about that. We're not probably not gonna get it. So this game is called Diet Dungeon. This would be another Play Now game. So the I know it may seem kind of goofy. Most of us, who have any kind of experience outside of sports board games, have played like dungeon crawls, where you're basically working your way through a dungeon, you're defeating monsters along the way, and you get to the big bad boss at the end, and you knock him off, and you win. I had the idea, I don't know when it was. When was it? 6 months ago? Something like that. Maybe a little longer. I think it was, probably after the holidays last year is when I'm, packing on the post-holiday pounds is like, that, I'm struggling against that piece of cheesecake, and I kind of, thought, why don't make a game out of that? Why don't make it like a dungeon where instead of battling monsters, you're battling food? So that's kind of where this goes. It's sort of like, although as I'm developing it, it currently isn't really much in the form of a dungeon crawl, but and it may go back more in that direction. This is obviously nowhere near finished or anything like that. But I'll show you what we got. It's kind of fun. There are some gaps in it that need to be filled up. So this is where you start with your weight. This is the weight you're at. There's no weight specified, but you're going to lose weight going this way. This is where you gain weight. If you get to this black square, you throw in the towel and call off the diet. Similarly, this is your joy. You have to have, you can't, if you've ever been on a diet, you got to have some fun, right? You can't just continue just to grind off, eat celery and you're just unhappy. So the game presumes that you have to have at least a little fun. And these are the gloom spaces. I've got too many of them on here. I think you should, if you get to like this point here, right now I've got it here, but I'm thinking as I'm playing it, no, if you get to this point, you're too gloomy, it's over. You're bailing on the diet. And this is like the positive side of joy, where you are actually happy. Sometimes it's good to eat a Kit Kat bar, And these are the days of the week. We do it by days of the week. We start with 10 dice. You get 10 dice. These dice represent your willpower. And these are like special dice. The yellow die, you can earn these by defeating challenges. The yellow dice, when you roll it, you can move it one way or the other. Like you can take a 6 will only go one way, but if you roll a 2, you can make it a 3, or you can make it a 4, or you could leave it at 2. The blue dice you can just re-roll. So if you don't like the 6, I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you didn't like it, you could re-roll it and get a 3. The green dice are a combination of blue and yellow, and the green dice can do either. You can either roll them again, or you can move them. So they're very valuable to get. And you earn those by defeating your challenges. So it's Monday, day 1 of our diet. Each day has its own challenge, and these cards represent those challenges. Let's see if we can make it through the week and not gain any weight. There would obviously be like a weight loss goal, or like if you could play this with multiplayer, so the person who lost the most weight would win, but there would have to be like a joy factor. And that all that is still up in the air right now. So here's day 1, Sunday. And we got a TV show with snacks. All right. Challenge level is 5, which means I got to roll higher than a 5 or better to defeat it. And that's probably going to require. I could do that with 1. And I should also say, if you roll exactly that number, you lose a bonus pound. You get a bonus. I've been saying that you get to lose a bonus pound, but I might say you get your choice of either joy or a weight loss of a pound, or to swap out a die. But right now I'm just saying you just lose a pound. So I could roll 1 die, and if I rolled a 5 or a 6, I'd pass. If I rolled a 5, I'd get a bonus pound loss. But I'll go and roll 2, play it safe. So I got to beat a 5 or get a 5 or better, and I did. So I passed. I gained 1 joy. I ate my low-calorie snacks. Didn't lose anything, but I didn't gain anything. So that takes us to Monday. And Monday's challenge is bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. How good does that sound right about now? It's only a 3, so I got to set those. I have to set my willpower dice. I've got 8 dice left. I could risk that. 3, 4, 5 would beat the bucket of chicken, but it's got quite a bit of downside if I fail. If I pass it though, I get to upgrade my die to a green die. I'll just risk it just for the fun of it. See if I can conserve a die, because you start to need that willpower by the end of the week. And I got it. And I rolled exactly a 3. Bonus for me! I lost a pound. And I upgrade this to a green die. I set this over here for next turn. So that's nice, and I saved a die. All right, now it's Tuesday. And we got a man, a pan, and a plan. This is healthy eating. It's a 6. I got to get a 6 or better. And if I do, I'll lose a pound. If I fail, though, I'm going to lose 2 of my joys, and I'm also going to lose 1 of my dice, which is not necessarily a huge penalty. So I'm not. I don't need to go. I don't need to go all in. I don't need to roll 3 here, but I'll roll 2. And here we go. And I got an 8, so I passed it. And I lose another pound. And we go to that was Tuesday, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Here's Wednesday's challenge. We're doing good. We're on the right track. Okay. All right. This is a 0 challenge. There are a couple of these in the deck. You can choose to do it or not. 2-mile jog in sweats. You can lose 2 pounds, and you lose the joy. Well, I'm good with joy, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to knock 2 pounds off. I'm going to lose a joy, put me back to normal, and we move to Thursday. And the Drill Sergeant DVD. Do you want to plug that in? We've all seen those. It's like this militant, on your feet. So if I pass, I lose 2 pounds. I do lose 3 joy, and I gain 2 dice. All I got to do is roll a 6. If I fail, there's no consequences. I just, I don't lose anything. But I'll go ahead and try it. I'll try to pass it. I could try to not pass it by rolling 1 die. But here we go. And I got an 8, so I passed it. All right, so I lose 2 pounds. Well, I'm doing great this week. I do lose 3 joy. Here's what I'm saying where it should be here. Now, see, at this point, I should probably get some joy back. And I gain 2 dice. So we'll put these 2 dice here. They'll be available next turn. And now we're to Friday. I got 3 dice left. And I got the cigarettes and Red Bull, the fad diet. This is a bad card no matter what you choose to do. If you choose not to do it, if you pass, you're going to lose a die. You'll lose a pound. If you fail, you're going to lose a joy. So I'm just going to roll a die and take whatever comes. And I got a 2, so I failed it. I'm going to lose another joy. So I would actually be on the verge of quitting my diet now if that rule were in place. And it probably should be. Got 2 dice left for Saturday. Should be able to finish this week out. Birthday cake and ice cream. Don't want to fail this. I'll put on a couple of pounds. I will get some joy back, though, so that wouldn't be a horrible thing. And I rolled a 10, so I lose another pound. I gain a joy, which is nice. And I gain a die. So I'm out of white. I got a white die there. That's a yellow one. So I don't have any more white die to get, so I can't pick up that extra die. But I do start Sunday with a pretty full complement of dice. Looks like I got 12 dice now, and that bodes well for me. I've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I lost 7 pounds. Well, actually 6 pounds, which is kind of a dramatic weight loss. Again, this is not necessarily supposed to be realistic. If you lost 6 pounds in a week, that's quite a bit of weight. But the idea is, you're struggling against the different things, the different temptations, trying to keep on track and still trying to have fun. I got to figure out a way. So if my next Sunday's challenge, allowed me to gain some joy, I probably would want to eat that Kit Kat bar, although there's no joy associated with that. I don't get any joy from that. Unless I rolled a 1, and then I could choose a joy maybe. So anyway, that is essentially the basis of Diet Dungeon. I haven't done a ton of work on it. I love the concept, though, and I especially think that a lot of people will probably be interested in this game right after the holidays, because it's easier to lose weight this way than it is to lose it in real life. So that is Diet Dungeon. Do we have time to do the final game?
I don't think so.
How much time is left?
Minute 30.
Minute 30. Okay. Well, we'll save that for next Game Lab. Like I say, we might do a Game Lab. Actually, I didn't mention this. I'm going to mention it now, though. We're talking about doing a Game Lab Revisited at some point, a stream that would revisit past Game Lab games. And we kind of want to do this at some point in the near future, although, we just did this Game Lab. It'd be kind of fun to do it again, or do this spin-off on it where we go over all of our Game Lab ideas and talk about where we are with each of them. Some of them have become actual games, specifically thinking of Aviatrix 37, which is now available, and that started out as a Game Lab game, Fury Hardball. We were thinking it'd be cool to have like a Game Lab gauntlet where we get a game out and then we match it up against another game, and then we have people vote because there's a new vote function on the YouTube channel. And then the game that wins moves on, and the game that doesn't, we set it aside, and we keep doing this until we have one game left. And then we commit to working on that game and trying to get it to the Play site is within 60 days. We'll get as far as we can on it in 60 days, and then we'll report at the end of 60 days, where we're at with it. So that would be kind of fun, I think. So we may do that. Watch for that on the Play Connect schedule sometime, hopefully before the holidays. That is all for tonight. Thank you for joining us for the Game Lab segment. I hope you enjoyed it. Join us Thursday night as we take a look at our new golf sets, the 80s and 90s stars for History Maker Golf. I think we're going to do a 80s versus 90s best ball event with a couple of golfers from each of the decades, maybe the top two, or maybe we'll choose them at random. Or maybe we'll choose the best one and maybe another one at random. I don't know. Haven't decided exactly what we'll do, but it'll be two golfers, a best ball tournament. We'll play the front nine on the 80s course, the Shurent Lakes. We'll play the back nine on the 90s course, which is the Chinook Haven course based on Sahali. So that'll be fun, I think. We'll do that Thursday night here on the Play Space Live. Till then, and as always, we certainly appreciate you being part of the Play Games community. Good night.